Well, The Invisible Hand is about this guy kidnaps this guy and holds him hostage. And originally he's held hostage for $10 million. The State Department is unable to negotiate, so it's Nick's job to earn that ransom. And so he, as a banker, as an investor, comes up with this plan to use Bashir to invest in different markets in Pakistan and try to earn that $10 million in a very short amount of time so he can earn his freedom. Well, I think what's interesting about Bashir's character in particular is that, you know, putting on the role, it's not like he's just putting on the role of an extremist, like in an episode of 24 or something like that, where it's very clear that like all you're doing is putting on a bad guy face. It's not, this play humanizes this character so deeply and so richly, and he has so many opportunities in his dialogue to tell us who he is and where he's from and what he's about. So in a way, what Jameal does is he doesn't put on this mask of extremism. He puts on the mask of somebody who has some very deep grievances, and he gets an opportunity to express that. And that's what's kind of cool about the writing and fun.
Yeah, and I think also it's like the sign of great writing. It's like, you know, you see these extremists in the beginning, and kind of when you see that on stage, you feel one way about it. And the greed and the corruption actually humanizes them to a certain extent where like, well, they're like us, really. You know, a lot of people don't realize how funny the play is. If there's a lot of jokes in this play. And I think it colors our characters as well. I mean, they're both very quick and smart and witty.
And ironic.
And ironic, yeah.
Some of the best humor comes out of the gallows, you know. The darkest places, and that the dark humor allows us to gain the perspective that we have to gain when we're looking at the big picture of the play.
So the play's evolved a lot from 2012. I mean, it was originally written as a one-act, and then the playwright rewrote it in 2014, and then he rewrote it again after that, published in 2016. So it's like come a very long way, and obviously world events have kind of influenced a lot of the updates. But at its core, it remains the same. It's still about Nick being kidnapped. Those levels of irony which make the play so great are still there. And they're still very relevant to this day.
And to me, at least, the play seems so much about exactly what's happening right now with kind of globalism being under threat and the rise of nationalism, and that the play has a much more allegorical feel to it. That here we have Nick, who's a character who represents so much of the idealism of globalism and all of the promise that can happen, that he believes can happen as a result of that, and then the harsh reality of the consequences of globalism in somebody like Bashir, and those two things coming together in a sometimes violent and sometimes humorous, but always very tense way. And I think that can't be more relevant than exactly what's happening right now.